Hello everyone, welcome to PSIR Theatre Press channel. Today we'll be talking about a controversial topic which has been there in the newspapers and also the media channels yesterday and today, that is Masala Bond. As we are having bond here, it is very clear that it is used to raise what? Money. By issuing bonds, you can raise money. That's how it is. And whenever anybody issues money, it is getting what? Guaranteed returns will be there. Remember this point. Okay, it's not like stock. So these masala bonds are issued by the Kerala government, which is represented by LDF political party. So we are now talking about what is the meaning of a masala bond. Why is Enforcement Directorate probing the controversy around it? What is the political angle with regard to this particular masala bond, and what is the way forward? How can we able to maneuver in order to make sure that these bonds serves as an important tool for raising the money for the purpose of covering the fiscal deficit of the state or helping them to launch new welfare schemes. Let us talk about all of that in detail one by one. Right, here you can say a rupee denominated bond issued overseas by an Indian entity. Means the bond is there, nothing but a A4 size paper in which rupee denomination will be there. Means 100 rupees will be written INR, 1 lakh rupees written INR, means in rupee only these bonds are written, actually not in euro, not in dollar. The money currency which is represented here is our own, that is INR only, but given to what? Issued to a overseas entity, may be given to a Federal Bank of America. They may purchase this bond, may be given to a Japanese central bank, may be given to any of the commercial businesses overseas nothing but abroad. So they are actually purchasing this bond. Okay, then it is called as what? Masala bond. Investor purchase the bond in the foreign markets, but all payments, interest or principals are done in Indian rupees. Means Kerala government gives a bond of 1 lakh rupees and says that after 5 months we will give 1,20,000. So someone in Dubai will buy this particular bond, and after 5 months he'll get what? 1,20,000 rupees. So given to only what? Overseas entities. So actually they will maybe making profit on the bonds. Currency risk is borne by the investor, not the issuer. This is a very important thing that we need to address here, because in whenever the bonds are issued, basically the return on investment is guaranteed. There won't be any change with regard to it, as because the things are being dealt in currency only. If any fluctuations are there in the currency, the person who is buying the bond, he will be bearing the currency fluctuations. Okay, we are not the issuers are not responsible if the decrease or depreciation happens with regard to the money. I hope these three are very important points for the prelims point of view, and this is very important with regard to raising of money through different ways. Okay, which is in a broader terminology we call it as what? Deficit financing. Okay. Now, if you talk about the purpose of Masala Bond, it is nothing but to raise global capital without exposing Indian issuers to forex volatility. So means we do not give any kind of bonds in another like dollar, euro like that. Basically, we issue that in INR to the global capital. Okay, so in globe, lot of people who have money, they want to invest money. So we are using this capital. Okay, without exposing our Indian issuers to forex volatility. So we are not selling this bond to our own entities. Okay, it may happen that they may also get losses whenever any depreciation of value happens. So we are asking the global investor to take that particular risk. Promote the rupee internationally, make the INR very close to the people and make it very popular. Finance infrastructure and long gestation projects. For that purpose, the governments are using this particular masala bonds, especially the Kerala government. So this is all good. This is all pure and white. The masala bonds are not bad. Masala bonds are actually used for raising money in order to cover fiscal deficit or in order to launch new welfare programs. That is all good. But why this controversy then? Let us see that one. So let us also see who regulate the masala bond. So RBI does, SEBI does, and Department of Economic Affairs. These three are the important regulators with regard to masala bond. RBI regulate the external commercial borrowing, because in the balance of payment we are having external commercial borrowings in the capital account component. Okay, so RBI regulates any kind of external commercial borrowing. So this is nothing but we are borrowing from externally. SEBI, if issued through markets like primary market, secondary market, on like a listing company, stock exchanges, SEBI actually take care of this kind of regulation, and Ministry of Finance will actually see the policy oversight. Means whatever the policy of the government is there with regard to this bond issuing or deficit financing, they will take care of that particular rules and regulations. Now, this is the topic of debate. Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board is a statutory body formed to fund large infrastructure projects outside the state regular budget. So whatever the budget is there, no, that budget is being used as with regard to different portfolio heads. The same thing that we do also at the state budgets. Okay, where revenue expenditure on what are the various heads, what are the various profiles that we are going to actually do the expenditure. That is very common. But apart from this budget, these are called as what, off budget borrowings. The borrowings which are not present in the budget, we call them as off budget borrowings. So Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board, they have issued these particular bonds apart from their budget. Okay, this is the first important area which is like little bit confusing and little bit having some kind of irregularity. Now we have to also see that why they have issued the Masala Bond. Okay, so in 2019, Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board raised approximately 2,150 crore rupees to London Stock Exchange listing. Motivations why they have done it, very simple, in order to bear the fiscal constraint, in order to be having window with regard to fiscal, nothing but money, bypass borrowing caps under FRBM Act, Fiscal Responsibility Budgetary Management Act actually asks the state government that you cannot borrow money up to beyond a particular percentage, like that they will say, and this percentage is basically exhausted by all the state governments, so they cannot be able to use the FRBM limits, so they are going beyond it. Access global cheaper and long term capital. Indian capital and Indian investors are like when they are getting the money, so they will be more involved in that. So here the global investors are basically long-term investment. They will think of it. That's why they will get in cheaper. They will bear the what I say is that risk more, and it's for the long-term capital. So in and out, this is a very good strategy in order to raise money. So the motivation is very very good. But why is the controversy? We'll get into that in a. Now, Kerala government, if when we ask that, okay, what is the rationale behind using this kind of masala bonds and selling it to some foreign investors, etc. Okay, so they are saying that this Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board is not a state government. Okay, its borrowing should not count as a state debt. State can legally access external market through statutory boards. Okay, Kerala government is saying that whatever the money raised by this board, it is not a government entity only. Why are you asking us that they are allowed to take from external borrowings? They can do that, so it's not the state government doing it, so it will not be counted under the state debt. That is what the Kerala government argument is there. Now center has given the counter position on it, saying that KIIFB's borrowings are completely state guaranteed, thus part of the state public debt. So whatever the bonds which are issued by this particular entity, it has been written that Kerala government will be paying that. It means the guarantee is given by the state government. It means that it becomes a part of the state public debt. Violates FRBM Act ceilings and Article 293 norms on the external borrowings. The Kerala government has violated FRBM limits. They did more borrowings when compared to the FRBM limits, and they have violated 293 article, which governs the external borrowings by the state. Opens the door for states raising funds globally without center's oversight. So if these are given permission, means the other state will follow the same process, and that will escape the central government oversights with regard to the raising of funds, which may lead to what, any kind of financial emergency that cannot be tackled on spot. As because there is a problem is there with regard to Kerala government version and the central government version, ED need to step up. ED is now investigating, Enforcement Directorate investigating possible violations under FRBM Act, PM, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, and ECB guidelines issued by the RBI. In all of these acts, Kerala government actions will be scrutinized. Under this scrutinization, Kerala government state leadership, including the Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan and former Finance Minister T.M. Thomas Isaac has been issued show cause notices to explain what has happened with regard to Masala. Now, Kerala government, the moment the ED has been appointed to investigate the matter with regard to the Masala bond, they have said that it is politically motivated, and because we are not a part of BJP government, they are actually wanted to what torture us, harass us in some or the other way. They came in this way. Kerala government says that the institution that they are talking about has followed all international and domestic compliance standards, so did not bypass any violations. ED is overstepping its mandate and entering into public fiscal domain of the state government, which is a state subject and state budget, which no other institution has the right on it. So it is overstepping the state financial budget, which is not its jurisdiction. That is what the Kerala government stand is. Kerala government is also accusing centre for restricting borrowing room. The centre insists on macro-prudential stability, preventing states from uncontrolled global borrowings. So basically that generally happens, when you are given freedom, then you can you can use you generally raise lot of money in order to satisfy your voters. With that, what happens? It possibility that you will go into a debt trap. Okay, that the central government don't want. That's the reason the FRBM limits has been actually given. And Kerala government is also saying that these masala bonds are very innovative financing techniques. Opposition call it parallel public borrowings, endangering fiscal discipline, rising scrutiny before elections, high-tech political narratives. So you are doing this because there are elections are due in Kerala and West Bengal. That's the reason ED is now getting into our political domain, trying to tarnish our image here. So you are opposing our parallel public borrowings. Okay, the central government is saying that one. Some important PSIR theories which links with federalism, fiscal federalism, are given by fiscal federalism theory by Riker, federal bargain, KC Wheare theory by divided sovereignty, Kerala government's autonomy in raising resources. Kerala government is demanding autonomy in raising the financial resources. The same things are also being done, but in another way. By Punjab is doing off-budget borrowing controversies there. Andhra Pradesh Amravati bond scrutiny is there. Tamil Nadu debt and guarantee examined by Telangana. Kaleshwaram funding and loan procurement criticism is there. There are many such state borrowings are there which are in the news recently and or have been dealing with such controversies even today, but they have been not been assigned any kind of ED etc. As because in Kerala the elections are due, that's why they have the central government is actually eyeing on Kerala at this point of time. That was the narration being set by the state government. It's not just India, even the US also issues municipal bonds. Chinese provincial, okay, they also do long government financing vehicles are the debt crisis. Brazilian state also issues federal bailout. So it's a very common process according to the state government of Kerala. Now, what is the way forward? A national framework should be there for the state level external borrowing. So, state can borrow from the global investors, global entities. For that purpose, central government should have a very clear-cut framework. They should commit because this requires no risk. Okay, the problem is not there with the state government, but the investors have to bear all the risk. So, it is very good. Coordinated central-state regulatory mechanism is important. Transparent audits of statutory financing bodies. Strengthening fiscal councils like GST council model. Encourage innovations with defined safeguards. So encouraging innovations are very good. As Kerala government is contending this fact, this is very important. This is very important. Transparent audits. If they are not doing any wrong, then what is the problem in order to go for the audits? That need to be also taken care of. And strengthening fiscal council, where in the GST council more innovative methods to raise the money in order to cover the fiscal deficit all need to be envisaged. Okay, I hope this is all clear to you with regard to Masala Bond and PSIR theory. Also, I have linked it. Do subscribe to the channel and follow it, and do share with all of your friends. Do join my classes, test series and mentorship. Thank you. Take care.